Inca or ancient Peruvians are like fusing these andesite stones together. So you've seen how the stones like fit together in the same way that they do at the Valley Temple in Egypt, the red granite. So they're using this gray andesite, which is sometimes the andesite is harder than the granite in Egypt. And they're like morphing these stones together at impossible angles. You know, I'm sure you've seen the 12-sided stone, and maybe you've seen the scoop marks on the side of the stone where it looks like the outside of the stone was softened at one point, and you could like scrape a piece off. And so it's Dr. Barnhart's idea that somehow, and it's not without evidence. So in the Chilean desert, the Inca Empire were building upon roads that went all across South America. And these roads the foundations weren't laid by the Inca. They may have been improved by the Inca, but they go back to the Wari Empire, which predates the Inca, and it almost certainly goes back further than this. The southernmost point of these highways, it goes off into the Chilean desert, into the Atacama Desert, and they just kind of disappear into the desert. And for a long time, it's been a mystery of what the heck are these Peruvians doing down in the Chilean desert? What is it down there? What's a resource that they need? But there are these acid deposits that are down in that desert, and somehow they invented this clay pottery that whatever they used to make it, the acid wouldn't melt through the pottery, so you could carry it. There's evidence of this at Tiwanaku as well, which I'm sure you've heard of Tiwanaku. There's evidence of this acid at Tiwanaku, and people would talk about how the acid could like melt the stones, and sometimes they talk about how like bird poop or bird I don't even know, like throw up or whatever could melt the stone. And so there's all these, ideas or these myths about the stones melting. Anyways, Dr. Barnhart's idea was that those roads go down there because they're mining and collecting the acids, and they're bringing them back, and they're softening the outside of the stone. And rather than carving the stones to fit together, they're setting the stones on top of each other, and it's creating its own morph, if that makes sense. The stones are morphing together. And so there's two reasons, but you see them a lot as to why he thinks this. There was an earthquake in 1650 that destroyed the Spanish city that was sitting on top of the Inca city of Cusco. So you have this ancient city that's there, and the stones are so massive the Spanish couldn't tear them all down, so they just gave up and they built new buildings over it. In 1650, this horrific earthquake knocked down the Spanish city, and the ancient buildings were still there, hadn't moved at all. In 1950, another earthquake happened, knocked down the Spanish city, and the ancient city is still standing. So now these are preserved as cultural heritage monuments, and they don't build over them, but they like a Starbucks or a KFC or a McDonald's will be built inside of an ancient Inca building. You'll walk in and it's like megalithic stonework inside of KFC. It's amazing.
Wow.
But it's everywhere. It's the whole city. It's the whole modern city. When you go one day, you just walk. One of the projects we're going to do for the Maya Exploration Center is I'm going to go down to Cusco for a month, and I'm going to make the world's first map of where all the stones actually are. There is a map that tourists get, but it's a shitty map. It's not even accurate. So that's one of my projects is I'm going to map all of these stones and where they are around Cusco, and it'll be like on an app or a website or something where you can find it. But yeah, it's just it's incredible. So they preserve the stones, and so when you're walking around, getting back to why
can we see some images of the stones that would indicate that they possibly were melted? Like what's like the best?
Oh man, how could you search this up? Maybe just look up Cusco Cyclopean stones. We may be able to find an image, and I could show you something on my phone. I know I've got it on my phone.
Okay.
Maybe I could send it to you, but I'll actually send you the photo. And
not these specific
so
ones,
so some of these are from Sacsayhuaman. Okay, so to the top left here, so that's the 12-sided stone. It's on this building. When you walk around this building, the name is escaping me right now. It's the palace of something. When you walk around this building, you're going to see some of the stones where an earthquake has separated. So you have two stones that sit perfectly on top of each other. Well, and when an earthquake happens, one of these stones will slide back. And when it does, you'll see an angle that ramps up like this, up to the exterior. And so what it looks like is the stone is placed on top, and it smushed the stone down. Does that make sense?
Whoa.
Man, I if we searched hard enough, we could find it here. I will send you this photo. I've got it on my phone.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just that idea is fascinating.
And so
it melted into place.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So they cut these stones, used acid. This is the theory. Is that it right there?
No.
No? So they cut these stones, used the acid, and set them in to seal so that there's no gap in between the stones. So it's not that they have to carve it perfectly, but rather that the weight of the other stone.
They get it roughly the right shape and then lay them down on top of each other.
Wow.
It's on one of these walls. So that one you have your cursor on, that's fake. I walked up to it and it's like hollow. I was like tapping on it. It's just a fake wall. I don't know why in Cusco they have some people will decorate their walls to make them look like they're the Cyclopean walls. And you go knock on it and it's like plastic. But there's tons and tons and tons and tons. The majority of the city is just the ancient city.
What is this? Inca stone monument, irreparably damaged?
It's like someone cut out a piece of it.
Yeah, somebody went up to it in the middle of the night like a drunk tourist and started hitting it with a hammer, the 12-sided stone, which is like the most sacred stone in Cusco. Yeah.
People are fucking gross.
Yeah, okay, so you see this long, the stone of the 12 angles, that one right there in the middle? That stone is in that alley right there, if you could find it. But,
That's so crazy there's a building on top of that.
Yeah.
That's what's so weird about it. Like, look at this stupid house that's fallen apart that's on top of these ancient stones.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's an amazing place. You'll walk around and just be consistently stunned by the amount of stonework that's there and what they are able to achieve. And this kind of Cyclopean stonework where the stones all have these, no two stones are exactly alike. You see that stonework in one place in Egypt, which is at the Valley Temple next to the Sphinx. And you don't see that, as far as I know, recreated anywhere else. But in Peru, it's everywhere.